surgical, physical when I'm lyrical. So bat it down with medical, something critical. It's gonna take a miracle. Bright lights, but the spiritual written down like biblical. I finally reached the pinnacle. Yeah. Welcome to the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the boxing playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Bienvenido a Boxing Playhouse Latin America. Esta semana tenemos el orgullo de hacer una entrevista con Ray, el maestro SOSA. Y tenemos esta semana igual el socio de nosotros, aquí con nosotros, Ángel Hidalgo. Pero primero que nada, quiero felicitarte a todo el mundo ahí que está mirando el programa hoy. Y vamos a empezar rapidito porque tenemos mucho de hablar, muchos temas, muchas cosas de boxeo, muchas cosas que todo el mundo va a estar interesado. Primero que nada, vamos a empezar que el mundo de boxeo. En este momento, yo leí por la plataforma fightnews.com que la AMB de WBA va a empezar a eliminar algunos cinturones para tratar de ver si confirmamos a tener un campeón en cada peso. En vez de tener como 5 campeones en cada peso, van a eliminar los cinturones para eliminar la confusión que nadie sabe que es campeón, porque hay como 20,000 campeones en estos días en cada peso. Van a eliminar eso. Están hablando de eso. También estamos hablando de Mauricio Suleiman, presidente de la CMB, de la BBC, que habló y confirmó que Jake Paul lo va a rankear en el WBC en el peso crucero cuando pelea con Tommy Fury. Yo quiero ver qué piensa la gente allá afuera, si ese merece esa oportunidad para estar rankeado después de 4 o 5 peleas, que para mí no pelea con nadie, pero si ese merece la oportunidad para estar rankeado en ese peso, arrancar mundial, un cinturón de la CMB que tiene mucho poder, mucho nombre, mucho bien calidad, ¿tú me entiendes? Vamos a hablar de muchos temas. Vamos a hablar de lo que está pasando con Adrian Broner, que está diciéndole a la gente que él, el promotor del Al Heyman de BBC, que le debe un dinerito y que se tiene que arreglar eso antes que pelee la próxima pelea. Y lo último, vamos a hablar de la pelea que pasó, porque te digo, la gente sigue hablando de Amanda Serrano, que es una pelea, pero increíble. La pelea que hizo ella fue una mejor pelea de mujeres en el último, bueno, en la historia para mí, porque fue una pelea muy increíble. Vamos a poner a Ángel y mi socio, mi amigo, el maestro Spanish, Ray Sosa. Bienvenido a Boxing Playhouse.
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
Dímelo, Encho, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo ha pasado la semana?
Lo pasé bien, ¿sabes? Descansando porque vengo de Nueva York, de Arizona, yo estoy por todos lados. El weekend es para descansar, tirar las pies para arriba y no hay nada del mundo. Sí.
Bueno, y el señor Sosa, dime, ¿cómo está todo? ¿Cómo está la familia? ¿Cómo te encuentras?
I'm good. Happy New Year, you know. Ahí.
Bueno, mire, primero que nada, vamos a eliminar la tema de la semana del boxeo. Primero que nada, voy a decir algo. Mi socio Ray Sosa, puertorriqueño, de Nueva York, de Spanish Harlem, él habla español, pero habla spanglish, como decimos nosotros, los neoyorquinos, ¿no? Y alguna cosa va a decir en inglés y alguna cosa va a decir en español. Y yo estoy aquí para traducirlo y para ayudarlo a él para explicar la cosa. Primero que nada, Ray, ¿qué tú piensas de la WBC rankeando a Jake Paul en los primeros 10 de boxeo?
To be honest, I don't even want to talk about Jake Paul. These guys,
No,
you know, I'm not. I gotta be honest. I'm not from that era. I can't believe I'm even want to talk about some guy like that. Let's talk about the man behind you right there. Let's talk about him, the man right behind you right there.
Ok, tranquilo. Vamos a seguir un poquito más. ¿Cómo tú ves el boxeo hoy en día? ¿Tú crees que esta época de boxeo es mejor que los tiempos antes o qué? ¿O está peor?
That's why I'd rather talk about the man behind you right there.
Ok. Bueno, mi gente, quiero hablar de Roberto Duran. Yo se lo voy a poner en la mano de Ángel. Ángel, dale la pregunta.
Sí, sí, Ray. Te quería preguntarle, ¿cómo te enteraste del boxeo y cómo empezaste? Yo sé que tú tienes una historia con el famoso Ray Duran. ¿Puedes hablar de eso?
Roberto Duran. You said Ray Duran. Roberto Duran.
Disculpe.
Okay. That day, I met him that day. That picture there, I met him that day. I was selling newspapers on the West Side Highway. I was a teenager. That day I met him, I was on the West Side Highway early that morning with a shirt that said Roberto Duran was greatest fighter that my father gave me. That was my father's favorite fighter. I didn't know who Duran was, only by my father telling me about him. So he said, yo, wear this shirt. Wear this shirt. He gave it to me. I wore it. It so happens when I'm in the West Side Highway, Duran was training for Sugar Ray Leonard. And he was upstate. As he's coming down from Grossinger's, everybody know Grossinger's is upstate. And you got to stop at the toll booth. When his car stopped at the toll booth, I was on the other lane with the shirt. My partner tells me, hey, Ray, that car wants a newspaper. I'm like, why I got to go over there? Manny, give him the paper. He was like, nah. He wants it from you. I was getting mad because I was losing money. You know, every car is money. So I said, Manny, you serious? And he starts laughing, but he's laughing. So he goes, I got the lanes. I got your lanes. Just go to the car. So I go to the car, sweaty. I'm kind of upset. I go to the car, tell the driver, yo, he got the same paper. The guy tells me, not me, it's the guy in the back. He wants the paper from you. So when they put the window down, it happened to be Duran. And I said, oh, shit. I was stunned because, hey, I got his shirt on, my father's favorite fighter, and he wants a paper from me. So I'm trying to understand him in Spanish. He's talking quick. And I said, Cholo. I knew him as Cholo. I said, Cholo. And I'm trying to tell him that my father, you know, my favorite fan, blah, blah. So he tells his partner to tell me that I'm the first fan he saw coming down from Grossinger's on his way to Gleason's. And he wanted to meet me because he used to sell newspapers in Panama as a kid. So my hairs are standing up telling you this because I never forgot that. So now he tells me also he's going to be training 34. I didn't even know where Gleason's was at. He says, I'm going to be training at 34th Street. Meet me in 33rd and 1st Gleason's gym. I said, what? What time? I looked at the clock. He said 1 o'clock. When I looked at my watch, I'm like, I'll be there. So Manny that's laughing at me because, you know, he wants me to go to the car. I got to laugh now and tell Manny, I'm out of here. I got to go meet Duran. So he's like, what do you mean, man? I said, you say you got my lane, so I'll see you later. I left him with all my newspapers, bro. Went home. Couldn't wait to get ready. Go downtown. I get down there. There's a line around the corner to get into the gym. I'm like, holy shit, how am I get in here? So now I'm walking away. As I walk away, the same car comes down the street, honking their horn because they see I was mad. Danny, I was pissed off because I'm looking at this like I can't get in here. So as I'm walking away, the car blow horns and they're laughing at me. The random people are laughing at me. They see me pissed off. They go, come on, man, come in. And I'm saying, what? He told me to get in the car. Now I'm in the front seat with the chauffeur, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm in the car with my fighters out. I'm quiet. And then Duran goes, don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. You're going to come in. Don't worry. What I want to say here is how Duran was with his fans back then and still now. Okay? Because I just met the dude. And I'm in the car. We go to the front. I'm wishing my dad was with me. I'm saying, wow, if my dad only knew. So as we get out the car, it's mad crowded. If you see the Duran movie, everybody's going down the aisle holding each other's shoulder. Duran says to his brother to tell me to have my hands on his brother's shoulder because he's going in first and everybody behind him. So we go in the same way. When I saw the movie, I called deja vu. I was like, wow, that's what Duran told me to do back in the day. So now I'm the last one to get in that gym. Yo, Danny, the whole block, that line went around 2 times.
Wow.
And I was the last one to get in. Everybody else had to stay out there. So when they closed the doors, we couldn't even move, dude. It was so jam packed there, we couldn't move. We call it standing room only. I call it shoving room because we had to shove ourselves to get anywhere. But not only that, Duran shaked everybody's hand in that gym, bro.
Wow.
It took us almost like a half hour to get upstairs. And then finally, when I thought we were done, he sees a guy hanging from the steam cover, the steam pipe, because there was no more room. So he was up there like a monkey, going, Duran, Duran. You know, Duran made us back up, all of us back up so he could shake that guy's hand.
Wow.
Exactly. I was like, damn, look at this guy. Make sure he shook everybody's hand. I became a fan right away. I said, yo, this guy's real. So now we get upstairs. It's so jam-packed. I got to take a leak. I'm so excited. I don't want to go nowhere. I stood there like, hell no. I got to pee. If I go take a leak, I might not be able to get back up here. So I stood there. And I'm just looking. I'm observing this dude. How he's goofing on the sports riders. Goofing and all. Once in a while, he'll wink at me. And I'm like, yo, this dude is something else. But I was kind of leery to ask him for a picture. I was leery.
Yeah.
The dude is intimidating. He is intimidating. His eyes are. So I'm letting him be. And then Jerry Cooney comes up to me, the fighter. And he tells me, yo, man, your brother's looking good. And I go, my brother? That's not my brother. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I met him today. I met him on my newspaper route. And Jerry Cooney goes, what? I said, yeah, on my newspaper route. I met him. And he told me to meet him here. He went, wow. He said, wow. Oh, he's a great guy, right? I said, yeah, he is, man. I just met him, but it seems that way to me. But that's my dad's favorite fighter. And my dad is my favorite fighter. My father boxed too in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So I'm in there holding my dad down, watching him. And then Jerry Cooney says, you going to take a picture with him? I said, you know what? I'm going to let him be. You know, he goes, no. He made sure I got that picture. That was Jerry Cooney made sure I got that picture. Somehow he got me through everybody. He said, no, you got to get a picture before you leave. Now I do that. I go to my job and I show people, yo, guess who I met? I worked 2 blocks from Gleason's as a mail clerk. I used to deliver mail too. So on my lunch hour, I'm starting to sneak out and watch Duran at 1 o'clock now. But guess what? I start taking long hour lunches. I take more than an hour. So now I'm going back to work late and my boss finds out, bro. And they tell me, hey, the boss wants to see you upstairs. I'm thinking I'm going to get fired. Wow. I said, wow. Now I'm in trouble. And somebody snitched me out because I was showing pictures of me and Duran. I go upstairs, bro. My heart is going like this. I just had my baby girl daughter. I need my job. And I'm going like this. My heart is going doo-doo. I go to the front, the secretary smiling. I said, Donise, am I getting fired? She goes, don't worry. He just wants to see you real quick. I go in there. I said, Mike, I want to apologize for taking a long lunch hour. And then he goes, apologize? I heard you met Duran. I said, yeah, I did. He goes, I'm just here to ask you if you could take me to meet him. This is my boss. And yo, my heart went down. I'm like, that's it? I'm thinking I'm getting fired. He wants to meet Duran. So I said, yeah, we could do that tomorrow. So now I go back to the mailroom smiling like, man, this got promoted probably. Forget about getting fired. I'm taking him to meet Duran. So the next day I take him to Gleason's gym. And because I met Rebecca, rest in peace. Hector Roca, rest in peace, my first trainer. I go in there with my boss. And Duran's training there. So being that he's from Peru, him and Duran, because I don't speak Spanish. So him and Duran, my boss, were just kicking it. He said Peru. Roberto said Panama. And they started kicking it. Right? My boss tells me, okay. I say, wait, Mike. He goes, no, you can stay. My boss tells me you can stay. You got the day off. This is my boss. I go, you really? He goes, yeah, man. Thank you for, letting me meet Duran. So as I'm watching him train, Ira Becker comes up to me, the late Ira Becker, the manager of Gleason's gym. He says, "Hey kid, somebody likes you." I said, "What do you mean?" "Your boss just paid the whole year dues for you here to train."
Wow.
The whole year. Back in the day, it was $50 a month. Yo, I almost cried, bro. I couldn't believe my boss did that. So I could start training here. I don't gotta visit. Now I start training. And he sends me to Hector Roca. Again, Hector Roca, my first trainer, God bless him. He just passed away. You know that.
Yeah.
I start working with him. But other than that, that's how I got into boxing.
Can I interrupt you for a second, Ray?
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta let the people know what you just said here in Spanish. Bueno, mi gente, la pregunta fue de Ángel a el señor Sosa. ¿Cómo empezó el camino con boxeo? Qué casualidad que el papá de Sosa, de Rey, le regaló una camisa del boxeador favorito de él, que fue Roberto Duran. Y Rey Sosa, el señor Sosa, tenía dos trabajos. Él vendía periódico algunos días de la semana, los fines de semana, algo así, y después trabajaba en una empresa cerquita de un gimnasio que se llama Gleason Gym en Brooklyn, ¿no? Y bueno, un día estaba vendiendo los periódicos en la autopista de Nueva York y lo que pasó fue que un día estaba vendiendo el periódico en la autopista con una fila por acá y un amigo para la otra, y el amigo dijo, oye, ven acá, lo estaba llamando. Y cuando lo llamó, dice, ¿qué tú quieres? Yo estoy aquí trabajando. Dice, no, ven acá, necesito un periódico. Dice, ¿por qué? Pero si tú tienes uno, ¿para qué necesitas que yo te dé uno? Dice, tranquilo, ven acá, que alguien te quiere hablar contigo. Y cuando caminó para allá, estaba frustrado, estaba bravo. No entendía por qué el muchacho quiere que se pasara por allá. Y se diga, ven acá un momento. Y cuando apareció allá, había un carro parqueado que todo el mundo estaba tocando la bocina, estaban bravos. Él fue y cuando vio la persona, cuando bajaron la ventana, era Roberto Duran, porque Roberto Duran le vio que tenía una camisa con el nombre y la foto de él en la camisa. Y fue el primer fanático cuando entró a Estados Unidos que vio con la camisa, una foto y el nombre de él en la camisa. Y después se hizo, en ese momento empezaron a hablar con los carros pitando y dándole a la bocina, todas esas cosas, poniéndose bravo. Lo invitó para un gimnasio para que lo vea entrenar. Él dijo, mira, ven acá, hablo con esta persona y cuando tú llegas allá, pide por esta persona y te van a entrar tranquilo. Él no pensaba nada, pero él dijo, yo voy para allá. ¿Cuándo va a ser? Ahorita. Él ahí mismo le dio los pedidos con su amigo y dice, oye, papi, me voy para el gimnasio para ver a Roberto Duran. Se fue corriendo, fue a su casa, se cambió, fue para el gimnasio y cuando llegó al gimnasio había una fila por aquí hasta la montaña, ¿no? Porque había tanta gente y él dice, ¿cómo yo voy a entrar aquí? Hay mucha gente, yo no sé si están dando comida gratis o regalando cosas, pero había demasiada mucha gente ahí. Y él dijo, yo nunca he visto aquí a gente así, yo no sé cómo yo voy a entrar a esta cosa. Y al final él fue para adelante y le dijo, mire, yo estoy aquí, preguntó por esa persona y él dijo, no, deja a mi muchacho entrar. Cuando entró, Roberto Duran lo invitó para adentro y empezó a conocerlo, le puso un apodo, en inglés se llama nickname. Lo llamó el chamaquito, el chamaco, y lo entró y empezó a conocer a Roberto Duran y lo vio entrenar y después fue el trabajo próximo día y cada vez, qué ocasión que el trabajo de él era como 2 o 3 cuadras de gimnasio donde estaba entrenando Roberto Duran. Y Roberto Duran, él lo invitó allá y él lo que hacía a la hora del almuerzo, que es una hora ya donde trabajaba él cogía una hora y media, 2 horas y un día el patrón de gimnasio, de trabajo, le dijo, oye, ven para mi oficina. Él pensó que se iba a meter en problemas porque estaba cogiendo 1 hora y media, 2 horas, hasta 3 horas de almuerzo y pensaba que le iban a renunciar o digo, a botarlo del trabajo, ¿no? Y qué ocasión que el dueño o el patrón del trabajo dice, no, tranquilo, papi, lo que yo quiero es que me dijeron que tú conoces a Roberto Duran, yo quiero conocerlo. So ese mismo día, él fue con su patrón al gimnasio con Roberto Duran, lo llegó a conocer y lo presentaron. Mira, este es Roberto Duran. Oh, mi chamaquito, sí, es mi amigo. Y esto que sí, lo otro. Cuando regresó al trabajo, el jefe no solamente le dio un abrazo y le dio una gracia, bien de eso, le dio un aumento de salario y posición en el trabajo y se hizo uno de los patrones de trabajo. Y eso cambió la vida de él. En ese tiempo, el patrón de trabajo donde trabajaba Ray SOSA fue para el gimnasio de donde tenía Roberto Duran, y lo que le hizo, le pagó el año de mensualidad de ser miembro del gimnasio para el año entero. Cuando él regresó, Ray SOSA regresó allá y habló con el hombre y dijo, oye, tranquilo, carnal, porque tu patrón te lo pagó para el año entero. Y ahí empezó a trabajar y a entrenar con un profesor que falleció este año que se llama Hector, un gran profesor que entrenó muchos campeones mundial, y así empezó la carrera de Ray SOSA. Hasta ahora también ese tema. Ray SOSA tiene muchas cosas de hablar. Primero que nada, Ray, voy a decir en inglés, en español. Tengo a Zen Love, dice much love, Ray. World Boxing from Mexico. Ernesto, much love, my brother. Gracias, un abrazo, los vemos pronto. Yo creo que yo te voy a ver allá el día 25, que voy para Tijuana, ¿no? Y Wilma Aranda Flores says, greetings, guys, greetings, Danny. Much love, un abrazo. El demonio de Tasmania. Hablando otra vez, yo sé que vamos a cambiar la tema, pero se lo voy a decir en inglés y en español. Ray, I'm going to say it in English and Spanish. I know that you don't want to talk about it, but I have to ask you. I have to ask you this, okay? Why don't you want to talk about the Jake Pauls and the boxers of today? Why don't you want to talk about them? Put it out there. Why you don't want to talk about them?
I'm gonna tell you why. And this is how I'm gonna answer that. How could I compare that to being a stablemate of one of the baddest men that ever put on gloves? Camacho, Hector Camacho Sr. I grew up with that cat. I'm gonna call him a cat. He was an alley cat. Okay, so growing up with this dude, nobody knew that he was in karate first. I gotta go with that. I rather talk about this because just listen to this, bro. He was an alley cat. He loved Bruce Lee. I used to date my son's mother before she was my baby mama. She was my girlfriend. Her friend was Katie. They were two friends. Hector was seeing the other girl, so we go on double dates. My girl calls me up and says at that time, Ray, you want to go to the movies with me, Katie and Hector? I say, yeah, let's go. So we meet in front of the Cosmo to see the Bruce Lee movies. Hector shows up with the yellow outfit with the black stripe. You know that Bruce Lee outfit?
A Game of Death, yeah.
He shows up with the outfit in front of the movie theater, bro. I look at this dude like, wow, this dude got nuts. He got balls. But, you know, I'm not a hater, so I said, he looked kind of, I ain't gonna lie, he looked flying it. We go into the movie theater, we watch Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, Enter the Dragon. That's long. We go in there, come out, it's dark. We saw 3 movies. I remember back in the day, it was like for $1, $2. So now we in the movie theater, but there's guys behind us making fun of Hector. They looking at what he got on. They mumbling, oh, this guy think he Bruce Lee. So Hector gives them a look. Just one look. And then he goes back. And then my girl goes, yo, these guys are starting trouble. I'm like, whatever. So he just talking. So after the whole 3 movies are up, the lights turn on. And Hector tells them, what y'all said now? And he said, they say, you heard me. You think you Bruce Lee? He was, you know what? Meet me outside. So when he says that, at that time, my girl says, yo, I think they're going to jump him. Are you going to jump in? I said, well, he needs me. So we all go outside. The 3 dudes are waiting out there. And they wait for Hector. Hector comes out. He says, yeah, he goes, this is Hector. He always like, yeah, wow. So when he puts his hands up like that, he knocks 2 guys out. The 3rd guy runs. I look at my girl. I'm like, he don't need me. I never seen anybody that quick. And this is before. I'm telling you, I saw some mixed up boxing with karate there. Everybody was kung fu fighting shit, you know. But the hand speed was incredible. So when you ask me about Jake Paul and these dudes, okay, yeah, I get it. Come on, man. Who I'd rather talk about? That's number one. Another time we playing basketball. I used to play ball, by the way. That's what got me on. So I wanted to learn how to fight because, the court, man, we used to back in the day was a lot of fights. So he used to, on the way to the Negro's gym, God bless Negro, he would stop at the court to watch us play. I ain't gonna lie, when Watch was watching, I used to put on a show, my passing and all that. He loved to watch. He didn't play good, but he loved to watch. So at one point, he would leave and go later, Ray. Every time he was done, later, Ray, I'll be later to you. This time he went through the courts and bumped into a dude. When he bumped into this guy, the guy looked at Mach and said, "Get the F off the court." And Mach said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You heard me, get off the court. Get the F off the court." I told the guy, "Yo, you better apologize." I warned him because I ain't apologizing shit. So Macho goes to the bench, calmly takes off his boots, puts on his boxing boots, takes off his sneakers, excuse me, puts on his boxing boots. Yo, you know it takes a long time to put on boxing shoes. Yeah. He's actually in the park. He's actually in the park all daylight putting on these boxing boots that say Macho Time on them. And then after he finishes lacing it, he says it's Macho Time. When I heard that, I told the dude, "Yo, you better apologize. I got a basketball in my hand." He goes, "Man, I ain't apologizing shit." Hector goes up to him with his boxing shoes and says, "What you said?" So when the guy opened up his mouth, ripped him a new asshole. The dude was knocked out. Macho goes back to the benches, sits down, calmly puts his boots back in his bag and says, "Later, Ray," and goes to the gym.
Wow.
And then the guy that gets knocked out wakes up and tells me, "What happened?" I said, "I told you to apologize. You got knocked out." That's Hector.
So let me say the stories in Spanish. So la historia, yo le pregunté por qué no le gusta hablar de los hermanos Pauls y los boxeadores de hoy que mencionamos ahorita. Él dice, mire, yo hablando de esa gente, le voy a dar crédito a donde no se lo merecen, porque no son verdaderos boxeadores en los ojos de él. ¿Tú me entiendes? Es como decir, hacer un pecado a los boxeadores de los días antes, los boxeadores que son verdaderos boxeadores. Como un boxeador, un gran amigo de él, que él conoció cuando estaba en high school, en escuela secundaria, ¿no? Y la novia de él y la novia de Camacho eran amigas, y ellos se pasaban juntos. Un día fueron a un cine para mirar la película de Bruce Lee y todas esas cosas así. Y en ese tiempo, en los días 80 por ahí, todo el mundo era fanático de Bruce Lee, ¿no? Y bueno, ellos fueron por un cine y había una gente que le estaban haciendo broma y chiste de Camacho, de Hector Camacho, porque Hector Camacho...
Danny, what he had on the Bruce Lee outfit.
Sí, porque tenía un uniforme de Bruce Lee, el uniforme de amarillo con negro en el lado. Todo el mundo ha visto Bruce Lee con ese uniforme, ¿no? Y le estaban diciendo broma, estaban sentado detrás de él y le miró, le dio una mirada para que, oye, tranquilate porque ya está molestando, está mirando la película. Y siguieron y después él le dijo, mire, después de esta pelea, vamos a vernos afuera para que me diga en mi cara, porque no quería perder la película. Él pagó para entrar a ver la película de 3 películas. Entonces, después de la película, que fueron 3 películas que vieron ellos, él salió para afuera y dice, oye, dímelo otra vez lo que iba a hacer. Y Ray estaba con él y dice, oh, bueno, son 2 o 3, son como 3 de ellos y somos nosotros 2. Yo creo que me tengo que meter aquí para defender a Camacho, ayudarlo. Y Camacho no tenía nada que ver, quédate acá. Después Ray cerró los ojos y cuando lo abrió, Camacho noqueó 2 de los muchachos rápido, como en 5 segundos, y el otro se fue corriendo. Y había otra vez que Ray y Camacho estaban jugando baloncesto, basketball, como se dice en inglés. Y estaban una pista una de esos de jugar basketball, porque ese era el deporte favorito de Ray. Y había él apareció otra vez con el uniforme y su equipo de boxeo, una bolsita, ¿no? Y había un tipo ahí que le estaba molestando, haciéndole chistes, bromeando. Y Ray le dijo, oye, si yo fuera usted, yo te digo que le pide perdón no joda con este hombre porque no va a ser fácil. Y el hombre, no, yo no voy a decirle nada, que voy a estar pelado, no va a hacer nada. Y Ray dice, oye, te lo estoy diciendo, te doy un consejo, pídele perdón, tú no quieres dar vuelta con ese hombre. Y el hombre, no, que habíate eso. Ahí fue, Camacho le rompió la cara, lo noqueó. Cuando el tipo se despertó, lo miró a Rey y dice, oye, ¿qué pasó? Le digo, oye, te dije que le pidiera perdón, allá tú te noqueó. Y así fue la historia. Siguiendo con ese tema, vamos a seguir hablando. Vamos primero que nada, una persona que es bien importante para Ray es un boxeador que se llama, un profesor que se llamaba Hector Roca. Vamos a hablar de él.
Okay. Hector Roca was my first trainer. I was training for the gloves, but I got hurt playing football. I shouldn't be saying this, but I broke my neck. I broke my neck by a guy that I had a street fight with. I hurt him real bad, and his brother got me on the football field. So when they found out I was on Valentine's Day, I swallowed the earring. And I had to go to the ER because I was nibbling on a girl's ear and I swallowed her earring and it got caught. When I went to the ER, they took x-rays. Forget the earring. They saw that my neck was broken. And right there, they told me that if I were to box, I could stay paralyzed if I got hit in my chin. That was the worst day of my life. So with that being said, I left that the boxing part alone, and then I became a trainer.
Let me interrupt you real quick. You got Dalia Duran, Roberto Duran's daughter. I'm sure you know of her or heard of her. She says in Spanish, gracias por compartir esta linda historia acerca de mi padre, el gran leyenda Roberto Duran. In English, she wants to thank Ray for participating and telling the story, this beautiful story about her father, the legend Roberto Duran. I have a story. You want to hear my story real quick about Roberto Duran?
Yeah, real quick, go, because I got sick. Go ahead, go ahead.
So real quick. So I walk into a gym in Miami. It was in Alapata area, Hialeah area, right around that area, Miami, off of 36th Avenue. And Roberto Duran was training down there. He was making a comeback. I don't know if he was fighting. I don't remember who he was fighting at that time, but I was a young kid at the time. And I walked into this gym and I see Roberto Duran sparring. I'm like, oh, dip, I got to take a picture with this dude, man, you know? So I see him and he's sparring and he sees like I'm in awe of him. Like I'm like a little kid, you know, like, wow. So apparently Roberto Duran, you know, he's a jokester. So he had like some bottles around there and I wasn't looking around. And next thing you know, he tells the guy in the corner after a round, he says, I want some agua. I didn't really speak Spanish that good at the time. I'm gonna say this in English and Spanish. And he goes and he says agua. So the guy gives him water. He goes, no, not that one. I want the other one, right? And he's saying in Spanish. So the guy goes into this bucket and he takes out a green bottle, which appeared to be a bottle of Heineken. So he gives him the bottle of Heineken and he drinks it. You know, the bottle's open. He's drinking some beer, what I thought was beer, you know. And I'm a young boxer. I'm like, holy shit, this guy drinking beer during sparring. And he goes out there, bro, and he starts lighting this dude up. And then he comes into the corner. He goes, yo, I told you it was the green bottle. You know what I mean? It was the Heineken, you know. So I'm like, damn, this dude is drinking Heineken and lighting this dude up. Later on, we're joking around. He's finished sparring. He changed clothes. And he came and judged me. He says, man, that wasn't beer. I just put water in it to just mess with people and stuff, you know. But, you know, young kid, you're like, wow, you know what I mean? So I'm going to say it in Spanish. La vez que yo conocía a Roberto Duran, no lo conozco, lo conocí. Él no es mi amigo. La hija de él es mi amigo, pero no es mi amigo. Yo lo conocí una vez. Un día estaba haciendo sparring en Miami por una avenida que se llama la 36, donde hay mucho boxeo por allá. Estaba haciendo sparring. Un día yo lo vi como un niño. Yo estaba enfocado en todo lo que estaba haciendo él. Él cogió agua y no le gustó agua y le dijo al profe, dame la otra botella, y una botella de Heineken. Y yo pensaba que este hombre está bebiendo Heineken, haciendo sparring, haciendo ejercicio, está loco. Y él fue, cuando terminó de beber el líquido de la botella de Heineken, él fue allá afuera a empezar a darle golpes de hombre. Y yo dije, eso lo hizo la botella de Heineken, ok, yo estaba sorprendido. Y, anyway, después de todo, yo llegué a hablar con él un poco y bien, muy amable, muy buena gente. Y me dijo, oye, ¿tú crees que eso fue Heineken? Eso fue agua. Yo hago eso para hacer broma con la gente. Pero me impresionó y muy buena gente. Vamos a seguir con vamos a cambiar el tema. Vamos a hablar de la experiencia que tú tienes en el mundo del boxeo. Ok, ya sabemos que tú treinabas con Hector Roca. Era bien amigo con Hector Camacho, ¿cierto? Treinaba en Gleason Gym, en diferentes gimnasios en Estados Unidos. Primero que nada, voy a hablar, no porque yo quiero solo de mí, pero primero que nada, bien rápido, bien cortito, ¿cómo lo conocimos, número uno? ¿Con quién tú trabajas en la carrera tuya? ¿Quién son los boxeadores que te gustan? ¿Quién son los boxeadores, los profesores que tú piensas que no son buenos, que tienen un nombre grande y se lo merecen? Y los profesores que no se merecen.
Well, first I want to not only rest in peace Hector Roca, I want to shout out Victor Machado, who I had a pleasure working with him with Lou Del Val. Of course, shout out Lou Del Val too, light heavyweight champion. I got to work with him under Victor. I got to work with Mark very shortly, Breland, with Victor Machado. I was the one who brought Victor Machado and Mark Breland. Mark Breland was working on his comeback against Ricardo Smith and Lattimore. So let me say this though. Let me talk about somebody special to me. That I got him right here. This jersey, the yellow one.
Yes, sir.
That's Juan Bambino Cruz. He was my first pro fighter. I got a call from a cousin of mine that was working with his dad as a porter. His dad was really stressed out because Juan, if you do, everybody please see this documentary. The Gino Perez documentary. Salute to Gino Perez for when I on his shield. And nobody talks about Gino. He was from Mexico. Salute to Mexico. All Mexicans, please look up Gino Perez or any Latino. His story was incredible. He was managed by Al Cerdo. I never even knew about Gino Perez until Juan Cruz. They fought in the Garden. This is before I had him. They fought in Madison Square Garden. Juan Cruz put him in a coma. Later on, Gino passed away. Juan was devastated. In the 80s, the crack came to Spanish Harlem hard. His father told me that one of his friends gave him a joint with crack in it, and that was it. He was turned on and he became a crackhead. His father was devastated because as a crackhead, he was running the streets. But even as a crackhead, he jumped over the turnstiles in 110th Street, I think. And the cop, that's why he's a Spanish Harlem legend, because not only he repped Spanish Harlem when he was off drugs, but when he was on drugs, he knocked out a cop when they stopped him after jumping the turnstile. He hit him one shot, knocked the cop out. He had to do time for that. Now he's in jail. Everybody turned his back on him except one person that I want to say hello to. If he remembers me, if he don't, that's okay. Juan Laporte. Juan Laporte was the only one who never forgot Juan. They were like brothers. Salute to Juan Laporte. So anyway, the father wants to meet me. I go meet Papa Cruz, and he tells me the story. And I said, when is your son calling you? He says, tonight. I come back. I talk to Juan Cruz on the phone. First time. What's up, kid? What's up, kid? Goes, listen, man. He wasn't happy. And, you know, all praise to Negro Gonzalez that let's give kudos and flowers to Negro Gonzalez, his first trainer. He's the guy who actually planted that seed. Great trainer. He had Pedro Viela. He had his brother Santos, Cepeda. These are guys that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Jake Paul. So now I'm on the phone with Juan, and he says, yo, when I come out, I want to meet you. He's kind of mad at Negro, you know, so that's okay. I meet him. He says, yo, can you help me? I had one contact with a manager. I say, yeah, I can make a phone call. But if I help you in one condition, he goes, what? You got to stay with me. He goes, bet. I go, you got to stay with me because you got rumors about you getting high. I got to make sure you're not going to get high, Juan. So he stood with me. He stood in my living room. This guy right here stood in my living room. So now I make a call. This is where Teddy Alice comes in. Everybody listen about Teddy Alice. I should say Teddy ass. When he says Atlas, it should be assless. Like, you know what I mean? Because Teddy was an ass. Teddy, you hear this? You were ass back then. All right? And you lied about Camacho when you said that you and him went tit for tat in Gleason's. I was there. They broke it up before he could even put his hands on you, bro. There's no way you went tit for tat. Macho's not alive to tell you a liar. I'm telling you. I was there. You did not go tit for tat with him. Stop trying to make you look yourself like you even knew how to fight. All right? Because you're a liar. And you used to be an ass because, and I'm going to tell you why. I get the phone call. I make it. Cal Danzig used to manage Jerry Cooney. Okay? I met him. Remember, Jerry Cooney was the one who helped me get the picture with Duran. So I go to Jerry, and he refers me to Cal Danzig. Cal Danzig says, okay, meet us in Gleason's gym, and let's see him spar a couple of rounds. Listen to this now. I said, Juan, you got an audition. I called it an audition. Don, they want you to spar tomorrow. You ready? He goes, not really, but I don't care. If it's to get signed, I'll be ready. So he stood in my house. We go to Gleason's. I meet Cal Danzig. Hector Roca's there because I want Hector to see him too. And everybody recognizes Juan. They thought he was like, yo, this dude was a legend. You got Mikey Sosa was there. Chinito Sanchez. Chinito Pedro Sanchez. Julio Cesar Green. And I want to say Saiz. If he wasn't there, he used to train there. These were the Dominican monsters. They were there training like beasts. I'm in there, and I'm like, wow, he's the big boy. These are the big boys. Now, I'm in the major league, so he's about to do 3 rounds with a man by the call Tyrone, the Harlem Butcher Jackson, TJ. I know, I heard of him, didn't know who he was. I see a guy come in the gym. He got limb balls in his hair. Tyrone, you listening? Tyrone Jackson, you had limb balls in your hair, like you just got up. You dragging the bag down the gym, and I'm telling Juan, this guy looks like a gym rat. You gotta be. I don't know something about this guy. He's yawning like just another day in the office. I said, Juan, you sure you want to work today? We're not even working the floor. He goes, kid, I got this, kid. So now 3 rounds. Then and Teddy, remember this, Ted. Don't act like you don't remember. We in there. Teddy Alice got a name. I'm like, whatever. Juan Laporte and him used to argue a lot too. Juan Laporte knows. I used to see Juan Laporte call him a thief. And now I know why, because that day, that's right, Teddy Alice, you a thief, stealing fighters. So at the end of the day, the first round, I said, Juan, take it easy. Everybody stops training. Now we got people watching. Little Zab Judah, God bless him. That was another bad little crafty kid. They were all there. And now they sparring. And first round, tit for tat. They feeling each other out. Second round, they go at it. Ping pong, rock and sock 'em. Ping pong, you hit me, I hit you. Pong, pong, pong. One comes to me and his mouthpiece is gagging. And I'm already saying, this guy's going to get tired. They're going to knock. Yo, back in the day, sparring matches were fights, Danny. They weren't sparring matches. They were peleas.
Oh, I know it. You remember the wars we had in Morris Park?
Okay, so that's why I want to talk about these dudes. So now I'm holding his mouthpiece. I said, Juan, you want me to stop here? Nah, one more, I got it, kid. So the third round, they go at it, bro. Salute to the Harlem Butcher, Tyrone Jackson. Holy shit. Everybody starts applauding. We all happy. But not Teddy. Teddy, you listening, Ted? He goes, one more round. I go, one more round? This guy just got home from jail. I said, no. But who am I, right? Because Teddy used to act like he was all that. He goes, what do you mean, no? So exactly what I said. That's your fighter. There's my fighter. I said, no. So right away, he goes to Cal Danzig and he whispers in his ear. So Cal calls me. Hey, Ray, I go there. I say, what's up? Is Juan still on drugs? Is he still on crack? said, Cal, what are you telling me? You calling him a drug addict? You calling him a crackhead now? Because if he's a crackhead, then I'm his crack dealer because he lives with me. That's what I said. If Juan's a druggie, then I'm his drug dealer. And who said, and then Teddy's right there. I knew Teddy said that. So I said, who said that? He did. So Teddy didn't want to look at me because he thought he was so good that he couldn't even look with another trainer that ain't got a name. He didn't want to look at me eye to eye. Something like the Jay-Z Big Pun thing. That I can understand Big Pun. I'm like, yo, dog, like I'm talking to you. He didn't listen. I slammed my hand on the table. Bang! And then he jumps. I said, yo, I'm talking to you. You saying Juan is a crackhead? Or I'm just saying he didn't want to go another round. Because we're not ready right now for another round. But if you give me 2 weeks, I'll be back. So now Wang is mad. He's upset. He go, Ray, what happened? What are you doing? I said, you know what? F you, we out of here. Wang goes, yo, Ray, what you doing? I said, you know what? F these guys. They're calling you a crackhead. So Wang tells me he's calling me a crackhead. He just followed me to the bathroom and gave me his card while I was taking a leak. Teddy Atlas was giving Juan Cruz his business card in the bathroom while Wang had his pee-pee out. Now, you tell me, is that stealing a fighter or stealing them? Going to the bathroom to chase a fighter down? Now, I knew why Lang Laporte used to always go at him. Tú eres pillo. Yo, going to I never forgot this, Danny. Think about, you can't lie about shit like this. You can't even make up shit about a fighter chasing somebody to the bathroom. So when I see his podcast and he's talking about how he always used to be about him. Look at him when and right, this is Teddy bashing because I'm tired. Nobody wants to dare talk about that dude. When you see Michael Moore fight and he's in the corner and he's yelling at Michael Moore, you couldn't even work with Teddy. Teddy, he got knowledge. He didn't know how to talk to fighters. He talked at them. So for him to be shining on TV, he takes the cell phone and he tells Michael Moore, your wife is on the phone. I got your wife on the phone. I would have been me a fighter. I would have slapped that phone out of his hand like, what you doing calling my wife, bro? That's an insult. But Michael Moore, being so respectful, just looked at him. So Teddy Atlas, it was all about him, bro. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Gus D'Amato threw him out. Yeah, maybe because he did take out that gun. But he also was a dude who had this thing about him, you know? There's trainers like that. There's trainers that is all about them. It's not about the trainers. You're not the one in there. They are. And he's top of the list with that. So sorry that I went on. I've been holding that in for years.
All right. Hey, vamos a decirle un momentico rapidito cómo él ve el boxeo, cómo él ve los profesores hoy. Él estaba hablando de un, no voy a decirlo socio, pero un boxeador que treinaba él que se llama Juan Cruz, un gran boxeador, uno que peleó un boxeador que falleció y murió y cambió la vida de él. Él estaba preso y salió y Ray lo llegó a entrenar y cambió su vida y hecho muchas cosas. Que un profesor que se llama Teddy Atlas, muy conocido, que él habla mucho de la gente, habla mucho de boxeo, dice que él es bien guapo, que nadie puede con él, que sabe más que todo el mundo, y fue para el baño a darle una tarjeta a un boxeador, a tratar a robarse a un boxeador, y que Ray está diciendo que muchos profesores hoy en día, o la gente que se llama profesores, hacen cositas así, y eso no es una cosa que se hace. Otra cosa que quiero dar una oportunidad para Ángel. Ángel, pregúntale lo que quiere.
Ray, yo quería preguntar, ¿cómo fue que conociste a Dani Santiago?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Again, you see that jacket? You see the yellow one? That's Juan Cruz. So Juan, when he came home, he didn't want to go to Negro's gym in Spanish Harlem. He said, Ray, and he never left that gym. He didn't know how to go to the gym. So I took him to Morris Park. That first day, I take Juan in there and I see a guy jumping rope. And I look and it's Danny. It's him right there. So let's talk about him. Let's talk about Danny. I'm glad you brought that up, man. His first line to me was, "What's up, coach?" I didn't even know the guy. I guess he assumed because I had Juan with me. He goes, "What's up, coach?" Pero está así, jumping rope. And I said, man, this guy look like he's in shape because the dude, nobody knows about Danny back in the day as an amateur. He was an animal. So when I look at this dude, I'm like, shit, man, this dude, he's there jumping like nothing. I think back then you was a truck driver, Dan. You was a truck driver?
Yeah, I sold beer.
The drive that he had, I could see it in his eyes. He wanted it bad. So I bring Wong in there. And everybody recognizes Juan Cruz. Yo, the dude is a legend, bro. And I met Danny. I think I even worked with Danny one time in the amateurs. Didn't last too long. But I remember this, man. He was so strong that when he used to see me, one time I showed up to one of his fights, right? Yo, coach, and he comes to me and he grabs me. He don't know to this day, this nigga almost broke my jaw. His shoulder went bang. And I grabbed him and bang. I said, holy shit. This dude was an animal, bro. And as an amateur, I'm gonna say this again. He didn't have the right trainer. The dude went in there with guts and balls. He gave respect to people. There's some trainers I don't want to name that used to give him this 554 numbers or this caca mierda. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to hurt his feelings, but didn't make sense to me. Danny needed to be groomed. He needed to be groomed. Everything was rah, 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 rah. A lot of these trainers, man, they're not teachers, bro. So when I saw Danny, number one, I would have brought him down a lower weight class. They were heavier. They were taller than him. That thing about your arms are too short to box with God, shit. Every time Danny fought, the guys were taller than him and longer. If he got you, he was gonna knock you out, but it's to get there. So I had to give him. The dude had nuts. You go in there at a weight class where these guys are way taller and longer and strong, and he kept up with these dudes. But if he was 154, oh, forget about it. Because then he was 168, right?
175.
Look at that. What about in the amateurs? 168?
Yeah. I won the Golden Gloves at 75 or
Look
78.
at that. Look at, bro, so to answer your question, look at that. I thought 168, 175, bro. That's almost harder than heavyweight because you got to be faster.
Yeah.
Heavyweight hit hard, but they slower. That was like heavyweight, right? Like heavyweight, right?
Yes, sir. I won the Golden Gloves, the Empire States, the Metros, and the Nationals from New York those years.
So
listen, Ray, real quick. I love what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. This has been an interesting show, and we've been on for an hour. We got about 5 minutes left. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this, man. When you gonna let me do another? You wanna go again next week?
Let's do it next week. But let me sign off on saying this. Salute to Amanda Serrano. Because
yes,
she beat Katie Taylor. That was it should have been either a draw, and they still would have gave Katie, a slight edge. But even if it was a draw, they would have robbed her. Serrano beat her. And then salute to John. Let's talk about one more before we leave out of here.
Let's go.
There's a guy by the, let's talk about John. If you hear this, Big John, yeah. Lover Boy, back from Spanish Harlem. I don't know if you remember me, Spider, Sammy, and you. You was a weight bodybuilder that had all the chicks. When I recognized you in Amanda's corner, I said, is that Big John? And it was him. Kudos to Big John. The dude came up from the rough streets of Spanish Harlem with me, gangbanged, and became the trainer of the most, I don't want to say overall yet, but as far as Latinas, there will never be one like her, I think. Amanda Serrano, salute to her.
All right,
she's my favorite.
Also, listen, real quick. We still got about 2 or 3 minutes here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? I know I don't want to speak on it. There's somebody cut from your cloth that is putting his hat in the ring. You want to mention anything about him?
Ty Boogie, Ty Boogie.
Bring it, baby, bring it. Go ahead and bring it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying to hold myself.
Sorry, baby. We got love for you, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of that kid, you know. God bless that kid. He's still trying. I mean, he's coming up. He's coming up. But boxing is not easy. And it's not in the ring. It's the bullshit outside the ring, Danny. You know that.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, real quick. We got Ernesto Neri from Mexico saying, yo, in Spanish, buenas historias. Esperamos la segunda parte. Very good history. Cannot wait for the next part 2. My brother, we've had a lot of people write in. We had a lot of people show love. We got to have part 2. That way Angel can get on this. Angel can ask a closing question. Angel, I got the last one.
No, I was happy being a fly on the wall, man, with these stories and stuff. When he told the story, he's a good storyteller too. I felt like I was there, you know, experiencing it, watching it. So it was a cool experience, you know.
Hey, one last thing, man. That writer, Eric Draft, let me tell you something. He wasn't thinking of Macho with these stories. He wanted, I must say this also on Boxing Playhouse. He's an opportunist because Louis Resto, he shafted him too. Shout out to Louis Resto, my boy. But at the end of the day, this was supposed to be on the Showtime documentary on Hector. Not his drugs, not all his bad shit, but how bad he was in the streets of New York, Spanish Harlem. That wasn't told. So I'm glad I got to tell it here. And maybe for the movie, they'll let me speak on it. Because the Duran movie was all right, but I heard they weren't happy with it. If they ever do a Camacho movie, I just hope they do the right thing and say the truth. The boy, to me, if it wasn't because he messed around a lot, could have been the best of all times. So we never got to see, and not because he wasn't my boy, but like I said, we used to double date. That's close enough for me. Never hated on the man. But the man was the baddest dude with 2 hands, bro. I got to say that.
Is that something coming out like a movie or doc movie?
I think they're working. I think they're trying. I don't know what's going on. Oh, the baddest man with 2 hands and 2 feet. Let's not forget the legs on there. All right, the baddest man, bro.
Angel Ernesto Neri says, Alex, mucho éxito. I mean, Angel Hidalgo, mucho éxito. Ernesto Neri from Mexico giving you a shout out, Angel. And Zen Love says lots of knowledge being shared. Yo, I cannot wait to do part 2, man. We're gonna do this next Wednesday. Your wealth of knowledge. I mean, you keep the eyes on the podcast. I need those numbers to get up. You the man, my man. I mean, like I tell you,
we're gonna hurt people's feelings, but I don't care.
Hey, the truth is the truth.
And shout out to Peter Khan. How about that?
All right, baby. That's it. Anybody want to give a shout out to? Now's your time. You got a minute to take it.
Nah, I just hear Peter Khan's that dude now. I could talk about him, not no Jake Paul. I'll talk about Peter Khan and Anthony Arvello from Undisputed Promotions. That dude, okay, I can't. All right, I can't say no more. Shout out to.
La semana que viene vamos a tener a Rey Sosa otra vez porque tenemos mucha información, mucha gente está escribiendo, hablando. Y yo pienso que vamos a tener a Ángel, vamos a tener a Rey y vamos a tener a Ernesto Neri la semana que viene aquí en la plataforma de Boxing Playhouse Latin America, porque hay mucho a hablar. La próxima vez voy a dejar que Ángel pregunte un poco pregunta, porque hoy lo dominamos yo y Ray, pero un gran abrazo, Ray, el maestro Sosa, un gran abrazo, te quiero mucho y hablamos la semana que viene. Boxing Playhouse out, baby. La próxima semana.
I'm very surgical, physical when I'm lyrical. So bat it down with medical, something critical. It's gonna take a miracle. Bright lights, but the spiritual written down like biblical. I finally reached the pinnacle. Yeah. Welcome to the house. The one they talking about. Word of mouth. The boxing.